The executive's secret weapon. I'm Dr. Obed Magni. I'm here to talk to you guys about an emotional intelligence skill that is often overlooked. But I'm telling you right now, it's what separates the good leaders from the very influential great leaders. So, a few years ago back, I used to be a police officer, and I was on a call for service where there was a burglary in progress. And myself and a couple of the officers were first on scene, and we just happened to catch the person who was actually breaking into somebody's house. Now, this was a young kid, he was a teenager. This was like a Saturday morning at like 7 a.m., so it was kind of unusual. Usually, with the break ins, sometimes it happens either in the afternoons or at night, but it's like 7 a.m. on a Saturday morning. So, anyways, we apprehend the young man, and we put him in handcuffs and put him in the back of my patrol car. And we do a records check and find out that he actually lives around the corner from where we caught him from, and he was on probation. So, said to ourselves, all right, well, let's just go to the young kid's house and see if he, has any other stolen items there, and then that's that. So we drive around the corner. Now, I'm not the officer in charge at this time. I'm just helping out with the paperwork and all that. So I have the young person in the back of my car. I'm asking them questions like, okay, what's your name, blah, blah, blah. And so I'm sitting in the car and I'm filling out the paperwork. And I'm hearing like some yelling and screaming, like some really loud noises coming from the outside of my car. Now, I'm not really thinking much of it because my windows are up. My windows are up. And I'm just like doing the paperwork. I'm doing the paperwork, no big deal. And the shouting match is getting louder and louder. And I'm like, man, what? Man, it's like 7 a.m. Who's doing all this yelling? So I look up, and it just happens to be an officer on the team that I'm on, and he's in a shouting match with the mother of the young person I got in the back of my patrol car. And it's getting really, really heated. And so I get out the car, I help out, I ask the officer, hey, maybe I could talk to her, to help calm her down or something. And he's like, please, by all means. So I walk with the woman, and y'all, for the next 10 minutes, maybe, for like the next 10 minutes, I say nothing. And mom proceeds to MF me up and down. She's calling me every name in the book. You name it, I was being called it. But you know what I didn't do? I didn't respond. I did not respond. My blood pressure didn't go up. I wasn't feeling anxious or anything like that. I just received everything that she gave me. And I acknowledged the fact that she felt the way that she felt. So, every so often I would say, no, I don't blame you. If I put if I was in your shoes, I wouldn't blame you. I'd probably do the same thing. I don't blame you for feeling the way you feel, and so on. And so what was going on while all of this was happening? I'm taking into account that it's 7 in the morning, 7:30 in the morning, on a Saturday at that. You've got all these patrol cars outside of your house. And of course, we all know what neighbors like to do. Everyone's looking out the window, looky-loos, like, ooh, what's going on over there? And so mom, she's just feeling frustrated. And she wants someone to acknowledge the fact that, hey, she's doing the best that she can. This situation just happened, and she's just trying to deal and she's just trying to manage. And I acknowledge all of those things. And during that kerfuffle, if you want to call it that, between her and the other officer, it was getting really, really heated. And her premise was, you're not going to come into my house and search my house. And the kid was on probation, so we were going to do a probation search. But I thought it was going to get physical. It had the potential to really, really become volatile. But I stepped in and I talked to the mom. And by the time she was done talking to me, she said, "Yeah, you're more than welcome to go in there and search the house, see if there's any stolen items." I did not search the house. I just searched the kid's room to make sure that there was nothing in the room that belonged to somebody else. That's it. I didn't touch nothing else in the house or anything like that. And what is the lesson to be learned from that? Well, when you talk about social awareness or social skills, you have to understand not everything that you see on the outside is everything to be seen, right? And what I mean by that is there's more than what you see on the surface. So I could see that she was hurting and she was lashing out. Granted, yes, not saying some very nice things about me, but it wasn't about me. It was her just wanting to be heard. So think about it as you're an executive in your social skills. What is it that your employees want? Or maybe you're an employee somewhere, you're a professional. Do you understand your coworkers? Do you understand the psychology of your coworkers? Do you understand, what makes them tick? Do you know what makes your boss tick? Those who that you work around and so on and so forth, stakeholders, etc. Social skills is so important. Just because somebody's angry, upset, they're lashing out, it doesn't mean that it's you. This is something that we see that is so common in education, for example. A kid who's sleeping in class or not paying attention. How do we know that kid's not malnourished? Maybe didn't get enough sleep from the night before because he was taking care of his younger sibling because, one parent or the other parent or what have you is at work and they're just doing the best to get by. So understanding that social skills, being able to not just see people for who they are, but understanding who they are beneath the surface is what's going to separate you from the next person. This is something that people who are working in leadership position, management positions, people who deal and work with other people, customer service, they probably understand this more than anybody else. So if you're looking to improve your emotional intelligence skills, if you're trying to get to that next level, if you're trying to be that leader that everybody looks up to, that wants to go to, to help solve their problems or whatever it is, be very, very mindful of your social skills and understanding people. You do that, y'all, you're going to separate yourself from the person that's next to you. All right? I'm Dr. Obed Magni. I'll see you on the next one.